It was a last minute thing really. He put out like an emergency email for cameraman and a few other parts, and I applied to that, and within 2 days I'd met him, and the following day I was shooting with him. That's kind of really how it all came about. On the day of the shoot, we found out that there was actually no lighting man, so suddenly I was assigned the job of lighting, which is not my favourite area, but I was assigned the lighting aspect of the film. But then on top of that, when we got to the location, we also found out then that there were also no lights in the actual location. So my first job as a lighting man was to fix the normal lighting before I could then bring in the extra lighting that would obviously be needed for a film. Up till now I've done a lot of my own films, so this was interesting because I was actually a part of a crew as opposed to being the leader of the crew, if you like. So it was an interesting experience, and a fairly fulfilling one actually, because it was nice to not actually be the director. It's nice to not have to have complete control, but listen to somebody else's ideas and try and translate those through on the camera, which would then obviously be translated to the audience through via the story. So it was an interesting experience. Always interesting to meet new people. Always interesting to work with new people, and see other people's ideas on how they like to put things together. My role initially was as cameraman, but when I got there and started speaking more to Bartolo, I found that he actually didn't really have much experience himself of directing, so he kind of knew what he wanted, but he wasn't sure how he was going to get it. So I kind of stepped up and said, okay, I can help you with that, and sort of did the first AD position in helping him put together the visual side of it, both the lighting, actors, framing, and things like that. And then we just sort of okay it with him at the time. If he was cool with that, then that's what we shot. And then right at the end of the actual filming day, he then threw me one extra surprise, was whether I actually wanted to edit it, because apparently he'd also lost his editor. So I was then assigned the job of editing the film as well. And that was nice, because that's the area that I probably enjoy more than anything else, is the actual putting together the footage at the end to actually make the film itself. It was a good experience for me, because a lot of the films I've done so far have generally been more sort of black and white films, whereas this one was colour, and it was a good experience for me because I've never really worked much with the colour correcting side of things, and this gave me a chance to kind of experiment with that, and I did a couple of versions. The second version we went with, so it's an interesting experience because it gave me new areas to investigate in the editing. At first, when I first read the script, I didn't really completely understand it. I got it completely wrong. Everybody else understood it, but I got it completely wrong. I actually didn't think it was going to work out to be as great as as Bartolo had actually sort of like promised us it would be. When I started putting together the end credits, it really started to come to life. I mean, your end credits really shouldn't be the one that brings your film to life, but when you see the end credits and then you watch the film again, you start to see the film for what it actually is, because the first time you watch it, you take it seriously, not realising it's actually a comedy, and then the credits show you it's actually a comedy, and then so you can go back the second time you watch it, you go, ah, right, I understand what's happening now. I mean, I see the film as like a snapshot of life. It's a very small couple of minutes in two people's lives. It's an interesting experience to take somebody else's ideas and relay those across onto the camera. He's a very easygoing guy. He doesn't tend to get upset by anything, as far as I know, and so it's very easy to talk with him, and you can build up a rapport with him quite quickly. So you can laugh and joke on a set, and it's not all serious. Some directors are very serious all the time. Some are just laughing and joking all the time. He kind of falls between the two, where he's serious because he wants to get the job done, but he also likes to have a sense of fun within a set, which I also enjoy, having that sense of fun. I've been able to make odd jokes here and there, and everybody's sort of building up a rapport between each other. Presently, I'm actually working with on another film with Bartolo, but this time I'm directing, and he's my producer on it, which is called A Family Gathers. And then after that, I'm not exactly sure which project I'm going to do next. I've got some ideas of projects I'd like to do. I've got a feature that I'd like to do, but I've also got outstanding projects. A feature that I've made over the last few years with a friend, which we're now doing the finer points of with music licenses and things like that. So there are things that I'm still working on, and new projects will come up as the year goes on. No, camera off, I think now, please.